Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to today's morning ramble. And it is a Sunday, and I have spent the past week working on Super Coach Academy. And today is the first day of creating the impossible. And I got Saturday off, which was kind of awesome. But I've been excited about creating the impossible. If you don't know about it, it's a program. I've done it since 2009. I've done it in lots of different forms. And it came about because I kept having clients go for such shitty little goals. And what I mean by that, I'm not really here to judge people's goals, but I just would hear them say, oh, I want to earn a little bit more money, or, oh, I'd like to be less, miserable, or, oh, and it never sounded to me like what they really wanted. It sounded like the best they thought they could have. And one day it just occurred to me, what if thinking that you can get it isn't a legitimate criteria for a goal? Like, this whole idea of a SMART goal. And it's supposed to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Well, specific's okay. I don't mind that. Measurable, yeah, it's great to know. I did it, I didn't do it. I reached it, I didn't reach it. Timed, sure. I mean, that's fun. It makes it into a game. But how the hell do we know what's attainable and realistic? So for me, I'm not really interested in SMART goals so much as SMIT goals. Like, specific, measurable, and time bound. That's fine. Or like we could go, SMIRT goals, which would be like specific, measurable, really cool, and time bound. And for me, that whole notion of let's not let our thinking about what's realistic, what's possible, factor into or dilute what we would really love to see come into being, what's really up here that we want to see out there in the world. Like, how do we get ideas out of our head and into the world? And I've done, I don't always play along, I usually do, but I was thinking about some of the creating the impossible projects that I've had, and as you'd expect, because they're impossible. In other words, you choose something deliberately you don't really think you can do in 3 months. Some of them happened, some of them didn't, some of them happened, but not in 3 months. So one of them a couple of years ago was to get 1 million views on my TED Talk, but without spending $1 million to do it. And that wound up taking about 18 months instead of 3 months. One was actually one of my favorites was to win a spin class at our spin gym, and specifically the Saturday morning spin class. And what made it impossible was not just that I usually came in 15th, but what made it impossible is that the person who always won that class, and it was sort of like the best riders would all do that class. The number one rider was, generally speaking, my wife. So in some ways, it became this kind of fun competition where, in order to create the impossible, in order to actually win one of those spin classes, not only did I have to train, not only did I have to kind of learn spin strategy, but I had to beat my wife, who so got excited, and she said, maybe my creating the impossible project should be beating you or stopping you. And I'm like, that's not impossible. You've been doing that our entire lives. But anyway, so that one I did. Admittedly, it was on a day where she had the flu, but I beat everybody else too. So I took that one. Last year's was a disaster. Last year's was to write and publish a book in 3 months. I've written many books. I've had many books published, but never in quite such a condensed time frame. And unfortunately, or actually kind of fortunately, my co-author got pregnant right at the beginning of the program. And so she created a beautiful baby, but that book never quite happened. And I'm already excited about this year. So look, that's the thing for you. What would you want to create that in the next 3 months that would make you gasp, grin, or giggle? Because it's so outlandish. It would be so cool. It's such a ridiculous idea. But boy, if it could happen, You would absolutely love it. And if you want to share your impossible project that makes you gasp, grin, or giggle, you can do it in the comments below. And if you want to join me for creating the impossible, check it out. You can find it in the bio. You can find a link, or you can go to michaelneill.org. Have fun, learn heaps. Happy impossibling, and I'll talk to you soon.